Hey everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Paula. In today's video, we have a lot on tap. Right now, we're in the car and we are heading to the Wild Goose Flower Farm. It is just newly opened. It's a Wick flower farm located in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. And I am so excited because the dahlias are in bloom. So we're gonna go check it out, meet the owner, maybe pick a few flowers, and then once we're finished up there, we'll head home. I've got a craft on tap and even a small thrift haul. So let's get going. This is Alexis of Wild Goose Flower Farm, and she has graciously allowed us to come and visit. So tell us a little bit about how it works, Alexis.
So visitors come up and they check in with either myself or my co-manager Emily. They'll come to this table, you'll get your snips, you'll see the vessels that we offer. It's a flat rate, so basically however much you can fit into those jars, but they're kind of clumsy in the field, so I recommend actually just cutting straight into the buckets that are actually set out and waiting in the field.
Okay, all right, let's go take a look. So right now is dahlia season. I'm gonna go right up here and they are absolutely stunning. Look at them. Oh my gosh. So are there different varieties of dahlias that you have? Or?
They're categorized on the type of shape they are. So you have ball dahlias,
which are sort of round, I'm gonna guess, like that. Look at that gorgeous color.
And then you've got more of your decorative dahlias, like the one behind you that's coming open. That's Connecticut Coral. They all have names.
Around. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful color.
Then you have more like of a water lily type, and I'm still learning, honestly, and so I just think they're pretty.
They're beautiful. So my dad was a big gardener in Vermont, and he grew dahlias, and up north we have to dig the dahlia tubers or whatever, rhizomes or whatever they are, out of the ground. Do you have to do that down here in the south?
Supposedly not.
Okay, I guess you'll find out, right?
I'll find out, yes. So I'm experimenting this year with leaving them in, just because I think I would have more of a loss taking them out and trying to find a 40-degree area to store them.
Okay, yeah, keep them stored. Yes.
So most people in our grow zone have a lot of success just keeping them really insulated. The biggest thing is drainage, just making sure they don't rot out during the winter.
Okay.
And if there is a freeze, to go ahead and really insulate them, cover them, and make sure that they stay warm through the freeze.
So will you put like straw bedding over the top of them, or mulch?
I'll probably go get pine straw from my woods.
Perfect. That's
and just
Mother Nature provides that free of charge, right?
Exactly. And I'm actually already using lights right now to trick them into thinking the day is longer than it is.
Ah, okay.
And if I use the right type of lights, you know, I just need a few degrees. Typically here we don't hardly ever get to the point where it gets too cold. But I probably will let them go and rest and develop their tubes probably by December. We'll see how long we can cut them. That is our first year, so this is all a little bit of an experiment.
Awesome. So you do they multiply, like the tubers?
Yes.
So next year you'll have more than this?
Oh yes, I'm very much hoping so.
Okay, awesome.
I should be able to very easily quadruple to quintuple this stock.
That's awesome.
And then there's another way that you can start dahlias too. So I'm a student at Trident Tech in the horticulture program, and so we learn about propagating plants. And one of the ways that you grow dahlias is once they get a shoot out here, you actually clip it, because then it puts all of the energy this way.
Okay.
Well, you could take whatever you clip, put it in some growth hormone, and then you can actually grow a whole new plant from that clipping.
Wow.
So once
and so will it sprout the tuber?
It will grow a tuber. Now those cuttings don't make as many tubers their first year, but concurrently they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so Alexis, I noticed that the dahlias are not direct sowed or direct planted into the ground. They're in these grow bags. Can you tell us a little bit about the grow bags?
Yes. So I had to go with grow bags because we've only been on our site for 2.5 months, and I had tubers that needed planting in July, and I didn't have a place to plant them. And we were living with my parents when we were building. So I decided to go ahead and pivot, which is the big word in starting any new business. And we decided to go ahead and plant them out in these grow bags. since I've done that, I've reached out to a few other growers though, and because we get so much rain here at once, and it's not even, it's not the amount of rain, it's that it all comes at once. Yes, exactly. And the water table rises. Tubers don't like that. And so I have heard a lot of growers since I have started this method saying that they get much more success with it. So next year, I think what I might do is I might put some on the ground just to see if I can get more height and maybe just even a small field. But I do think I will probably always have the grow bags, especially now that I know how to do it and I know how to do it well. I'm comfortable with it. It's going to take a lot to convince me to go straight to the ground.
Well, they've clearly been very successful because the plants are beautiful and seem really to be thriving. Honestly, they're gorgeous. So Alexis, talk to me a little bit about how you got into the flower business, the dahlia business, and kind of your goals behind it. I know you're in ag school at Trident Tech.
Yes. I kind of fell into it. So at first, honestly, it was something I did with my children when I stayed at home. I was having some postpartum depression and anxiety after my second born. And I just found that I was better with my hands in the earth and being outside.
Always makes you feel better, doesn't it?
And it kind of reconnected me to my roots from when I was a kid. I grew up in this area, playing in the woods behind the Goose Creek Reservoir and walking in Francis Marion Forest. And so coming back to it as an adult with my own family and seeing that there's been so much growth and we have parks and we have places, but we're really losing accessible places to be outside with families. So that's really what called my heart to agritourism and having people out on the farm and on the property to come out and get their hands in the dirt too. And maybe just like it helped me after I was struggling a bit, just to help others too.
So are you officially open for business right now?
We are.
You are. Fantastic.
As of this week.
Fantastic. This is your first week?
This is our first week. Yeah, we had, it was a very slow opening. We only opened up a few slots and we are appointment only right now.
Okay.
Mainly because, again, this area has grown very quickly. And I've been several places with my kids where all we do is stand in line.
Wait, I get it.
And I don't want that for people. I want this experience to be peaceful. I want them to know what they're getting when they're coming here. And they're going to get peace. They're going to get the attention of either myself or my co-manager, Emily, and teach them about the flowers and how to harvest them and answering any questions they have. And
awesome.
So it's a curated experience is what we want to
how
call it.
does someone make an appointment?
Online.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will include all of Alexis's information in the description box, and I'll try to put it across the screen right now when I'm editing. So we will put it all right there for everybody. So if you're local to the Somerville, Monk's Corner, Goose Creek area, you can come over and you can cut yourself a bouquet of beautiful dahlias.
So a lot of people don't realize how long you want to cut a stem so that you have flexibility to arrange in a vase. So you actually want to kind of think about your entire arm's length coming down. And then you're going to cut right above the set of 2 leaves right here. Because what that does is it sends hormones down through the plant and more stems will actually come up.
Okay, so you want to cut a lot longer than you think you're going to need.
And then you usually automatically just strip the bottom leaves off.
Okay.
Because that way this stem is now just supporting this flower in these leaves.
Okay, so it's more energy and prolong the life of that flower that you've picked.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you want to put it straight into some cool water with some flower food already added, which I have for you over here.
Okay, fantastic. All right, we're going to clip ourselves a little bouquet. So give us some of your tips about flower arranging.
All right, I'm still learning the flower arranging part. I am a firm believer that this is an art. There is no right way to do it.
All right.
But there are a few tricks I have learned, and one is to actually choose your front for your standard bouquet.
Okay.
When you think about doing a centerpiece that is 360, that's very difficult. But when you choose a focal plane to style your bouquet around, it just becomes so much easier. And the outcome is a lot better. And so the first thing that they tell you is usually, you're going to stagger heights. And you can always trim more, but you can never add more.
Can't add it back in,
so
can you?
Add it back in. Yes, and so you always want to be careful when you start doing that. You don't want leaves in the water because that puts bacteria in the water and that will shorten your vase life. And then as you add, you want to think about making an X because what that does is that's going to make support for you.
It's almost like a little flower frog at the bottom.
However, we do have these guys.
Have flower frogs right there. Perfect.
So, and I find that sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're not. So we can start with one and see how it works. just because to give more support. And what you get is an airier arrangement that's not so dense and it's more structural. And that's also a, what's the word? When you like something.
Preferred?
Thank you. It's a preference.
Okay.
That's also just the preference.
All right.
And that does tend to be generational, actually.
And those colors are just stunning, and they're so beautiful and vibrant and very fall-like too.
Yes. Everybody has been raving about the black dahlia, or the black satin.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And then it really is just, yeah. Put it here and there and see how you like it.
And the stems are pretty woody, it seems, so they're pretty sturdy and will stand upright.
Yes, they will. Now, we try to grow our stems as straight as possible because that is, again, what works best in arrangements. But sometimes you get some little quirky ones. But I like it because it adds whimsy.
Absolutely. So I am making a beautiful arrangement in this ball jar with all of these gorgeous flowers.
I want to thank Alexis for having me out to Wild Goose Flower Farm and showing me around. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. After we picked a bouquet, we sat on her porch, had some cold apple cider, and just really enjoyed a great conversation. If you are local, I encourage you to head on over to the flower farm and pick yourself a beautiful bouquet of dahlias. It's a wonderful experience. I will leave Alexis's information in the description box below, and thank you again so much for having me out to the farm. All right, let's head into the house and work on a craft project. Well, today we are going to be making some decorative matchstick holders. I saw these at the French Mercantile when I was there. They were much larger and very expensive, and I thought to myself, I could probably do that. And so here are the supplies that you'll need. You'll need some of those little glass jars. Those little round stickers are strikers to light the match. Some kind of paper that you can decoupage with. I have a piece of scrapbooking paper and then an old songbook that I thrifted. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to cut some strips of paper that will wrap around the outside of the jar. I have a small paper cutter, but you can certainly use scissors if you don't have one of those. I cut some strips out of the sheet music as well as from the scrapbooking paper. The width of the strip is totally up to you. That's a personal preference. I made it so that you could still see the matches through the jar. All right, after cutting the strips, the next thing I'm going to do is to size them up and cut them to the right length to fit around the circumference of the little glass jar. I purchased those glass jars from Amazon as well as the little striker paper stickers, and I will link those in the description box. I had them on hand from a craft that I did last year where I made some fire starters, and if I remember to, I will link that video in the description box and also in the iCards above. All right, so I've cut the strip to the right circumference, and then I'm just going to put some Mod Podge on one side of the strip of paper. This is Mod Podge that is a matte base. You can get shiny, gloss, or flat. I just happen to have this matte Mod Podge lying around. Once you have coated the back side of the strip with the Mod Podge, then carefully place it wherever you want on the jar. Mine is kind of right through the middle. So that was a little bit long, so I cut the excess paper off and then just smoothed it down with my fingertips to smooth out any wrinkles. And that was the one I made using the sheet music. And now I'll repeat the process using the strip of paper I cut from the scrapbooking paper. So here I am sizing it up. I'll cut the strip, and then once again I'll coat the back with Mod Podge and affix it to the little glass jar. This is a really easy craft that anyone can do, and it doesn't take much time and it doesn't require a lot of materials, but it's very satisfying, and I really enjoyed picking out the different papers and thinking about what I wanted to put around the outside of the jar. Then once you have the strip around the jar, or the little jar, I gave it a coat of the Mod Podge, especially right where the piece of paper met, right on that seam. You could, of course, coat the whole thing, and I think I might have done that, but I especially wanted to make sure that the seam was coated with Mod Podge so that it would not unravel. And now I'm going to put these little striker papers on the bottoms of the jars so that when you take a match out, you have somewhere to light it. That one gave me a little bit of a problem, but I did finally manage to get it stuck down onto the bottom of the jar. And then I repeated the same thing with that jar. And those little circles fit perfectly on the bottom of those little glass jars. And then, of course, the next thing that you need to do is to fill the jar with matches. I simply bought a box of matches, and I bought this particular box because the tops of the matches were green, and since this is for Christmas, I thought that was perfect. And then you just fill the little jar with the matchsticks and put the cork on top. And here I am giving a little extra coat of Mod Podge right to that seam. And I think on this one I may have coated it all the way around. And then once it's coated, you want to let that dry. I put mine aside and let it dry for probably an hour or so, and it was totally fine. And then I thought the final touch would be to tie a little bow around the top of the jar. And here's where you can have some fun. It was really fun picking out the different papers, picking out the satin ribbon. I used satin ribbon in this really pretty pearwood green color. My sister Patty loves this color, as do I. And then I just simply tied a small bow around the top of the jar. And then I trimmed the ends of the bow at an angle, and there you have it. Very simple, so fun, and I think they turned out just adorably. They are so cute. I had so much fun. I hope you give this craft a try. It's the perfect accompaniment to a candle that you might give as a gift at Christmas time. All right, well, I'm going to tidy up the kitchen from the flower farm and crafting, and we got box of goodies in for the online shop. And while I'm doing that, I wanted to just chat with you about our 5,000 subscriber giveaway. We were so excited to hit 5,000 subscribers. That was really a personal goal. We had hoped to meet it before the end of October, and we did it. So to celebrate that, we will be doing a giveaway. If you want to be entered into the giveaway, all you need to do is be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below in this video letting me know that you want to be entered into it, and give the video a thumbs up. We will announce the winner in an upcoming video. It may be next week in Patty's video, or it could possibly be the week after that. But we will announce the winner, and we will send you a message and let you know that you've been selected. We're very excited about the fact that we've grown to 5,000 subscribers, and now we have our sights set on 10,000. And we're hoping that we'll be able to do that by Easter. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, and you'll be notified whenever we upload a new video. We typically upload videos on Thursdays, and then occasionally we have a bonus video on Sundays. So let me go ahead and finish cleaning up this kitchen, and I happen to be watching the South Carolina Gamecocks play football there in the background, and we will get into a small thrift haul that I have and am excited to share with you. Well, you saw an overview of a few things that I picked up from the thrift store the other day, and I wanted to share them with you. Some of them I think I'll be keeping, some of them may end up on the shop, I'm not exactly sure. But one of the first things that I found was this really very cool looking cheese slicer. So here is the little wire that you would slice the cheese with, and these are tiles. They kind of have a matte finish versus a shiny finish. And as you can see, it's a really pretty scene. It looks very vintage to me. I love the muted tones. I love these colors. And when I turned it over on the back, let me read this to you, it said Wood Watt Knots, Cottagecore, Wales. So this is made in Wales. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that or not. So when I looked it up online, this was carried by, oh goodness, I'm going to forget now. It's a department store, Harrods in London. It was carried by Harrods, and they do have some of these available on Etsy and whatnot, but I just thought this was so cool. And how on earth it ended up in Moncks Corner, South Carolina, I don't know. But anyway, it came home with me. The next thing I found was this really cute little plate. Now let me see, I may have to adjust the lighting. Give me a minute here. The next thing that I found was this little plate. It's a sort of a salad plate or dessert plate, and it says Germany on the back. And I thought it had a very Scandinavian look. It looks like something my sister Kathleen would really like. And see if I can get that without the glare. I have seen this in mugs before, and I looked around to see if perhaps I could find some mugs that matched this, but there were not any. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but is that not adorable? I love the simplicity of it. It's just the classic red, green, and white, and the beautiful Christmas tree. So cute. Speaking of classic red, white, and green, I also found this plaid tablecloth. I think this is maybe Stuart tartan. I'm not sure of that. I'll have to double check on that. But it's a square, probably a 48-inch square tablecloth in perfect condition. And I am a sucker for plaid. I love plaid. And this plaid in particular is beautiful. I also love black watch plaid. But this was $2. So needless to say, that came home with me, and that will be going on my table this Christmas. I also found, you'll think I'm crazy, I have no idea what this is. It's a very, very tiny 3-handled cup. It has a gorgeous back stamp on the bottom that says Royal Dalton, made in England. I don't know if this was part of a child's tea set. I think these 3-handled cups have a special name. I'm not sure what they are. Loving cup, maybe. I think actually a loving cup only has 2, so I don't know. So if any of you know what this is or where it came from, especially our friends in England, if you have any idea what this is, drop a comment and let me know. It's just so tiny, and I love miniatures, as does my sister Kathleen. And I thought maybe I could put some toothpicks in this. It would be really cute. Or in the spring, maybe a teeny tiny bouquet of lily of the valley or some little tiny flower would be really sweet. So I got that. And then, speaking of miniatures, I found for 50 cents a piece, and I don't even collect these, so I don't know. I thought maybe I could do a craft project with them, perhaps. These David Winter cottages. So there's this little tiny cottage, super cute. And then 2 other little pieces. I think this is a well, like a wishing well. And then this is, I'm not sure, like a little farm stand or something. Very cute. Hi, Nevie. It's my daughter over there. She's getting ready to go to work. So I picked up those. Also at this same thrift store, I found these vintage brass napkin rings. These are so cool. They sit flat on the table and the napkin goes through that hole. They are super heavy. You would not believe how heavy they are. And they are made in Taiwan, so I know that they're vintage, probably from the early 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s, I'm guessing. Really so pretty. And there were 4 of them. So here they are. So the pineapple is the symbol of the city of Charleston. It's also a symbol of welcome. I know, for example, in Colonial Williamsburg, you always see a pineapple over the front door as a symbol of welcome. And so I picked those up, and I'm thinking these may end up in the shop. I have so many napkin rings, but I'm not sure, so you'll have to check. You know how indecisive I am about things. So anyway, just keep checking our shop at relativelyrefined.com if you're interested in them. But I don't know yet. I may keep them. And then also at the thrift store, I found these really awesome cookie cutters. They're copper cookie cutters, and I'll hold them up. There were 4. There's a snowman. There is an elf. Actually, there are 2 elves. I think that they face different directions, perhaps. There are 2 elves, and then there is Santa with his sack. And they're really good size. They're heavy. They're probably vintage. And I love a copper cookie cutter, so I picked up those. And then finally, the last thing that I found was a set of 4 napkins. And these are really very springy. I'll hold these up. They're brand new. They've never been used. And they have this beautiful blue and green flower pattern on them. And I love them. So these will definitely be beautiful in the spring. And like I said, there were 4 in mint condition. So I got those. And I think that's everything I got at the thrift store. There are some other things I want to share with you. A while ago, I did a video where I featured my friend Adrienne from the Nostalgic Wick. She makes candles, and she's been working with us to create a signature scent, Relatively Refined candle. And she sent me a sample of one of our scents to try out. It's in this beautiful copper mug. How gorgeous is that? All tied up. Smells wonderful, and it is called Cranberry Woods. So this is one of the scents that we're experimenting with. So she sent this to me and asked me to burn it and see what I think, see how the throw is, see whether there's, it produces soot or whatnot, and how it burns. So I'm all too happy to oblige her, but this is such a beautiful presentation, and the smell is just what you think it would be. You can sense the tartness of the cranberries. It has an earthy, woodsy smell. It's wonderful, really beautiful scent. So I will let you know when those candles are done. We had so much fun mixing scents. My sister Patty and I did that with Adrienne. She came to the house and we mixed essential oils and we wafted them under our noses, and we put together different smells. It was so much fun. I told her she needs to hold candle making classes, or at least scent classes, because she talked all about the scent wheel. I had no idea about it, that there's a scent wheel, kind of like a color wheel, you know, starting with your spicy scents and ending with your, you know, florals. So it was so interesting and very, very fun. So that's on the horizon. And then the last thing, let me lean over here. The last thing I wanted to share is a new kind of potpourri. We had a tremendous response to the orange spice potpourri. Thank you to everyone who has shopped our online shop. The response has been overwhelming. We could not be happier. And the potpourri, the orange spice potpourri, flying out of there. So we've had to place a second order, and then we decided to try another scent, which is called honey spiced pear. It is absolutely beautiful. The smell is divine. You can really smell the honey and the spice, and then that very soft pear smell. Wonderful. And the colors in this potpourri are gorgeous. In Patty's last video, she talked about this ribbon that she recently found that's this gorgeous kind of pearwood green color. And so there are some elements of that in here, and it's just a beautiful potpourri. So this is also available on our shop. All right, I think that wraps up everything that I wanted to share with you for my thrift haul and some other odds and ends. So I appreciate you sticking with us. And again, I want to thank everybody who has shopped our shop and left us some wonderful comments and made purchases and just said congratulations. We could not be happier. All right, well, that wraps up today's video. I want to thank you for spending part of your day with me. I really enjoyed today. I hope you did as well. We had a lot of fun. We went to the flower farm. We did a small craft. We had a thrift haul, got a shop update. It was just really a jam-packed video, and I thank you for spending part of your day with me. All right, everybody, if you have not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We did hit 5,000 subscribers. So if you want to be entered in the 5,000 subscriber giveaway, simply leave a comment down below. Make sure that you are a subscriber and give this video a thumbs up, and you will be entered, and we will draw the name for that person in the next couple of weeks, and we will let you know who the winner is. We could not be more excited about our 5,000 subscriber mark. Who would have thought that 3 middle-aged ladies would be able to do that on YouTube? Now, we're a small channel in terms of the big world of YouTube, but for us, it's a wonderful goal. So on to 10,000. All right, everybody. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.